Most people try to improve their thinking, without fixing its foundation. Core thinking principles. Part of logical thinking lies a set of core thinking principles that support the entire structure. If this underlying base is weak or unstable, then no matter how advanced your reasoning methods become, your conclusions will repeatedly drift off course. That is why the goal here is to explore the true foundations of logic and understand how the mind actually forms reasoning. Once these principles are understood, thinking no longer depends on opinions or instincts, it becomes rooted in structured, disciplined reasoning. To truly grasp this, we must first redefine what logic really means. Logic isn't about appearing intelligent or using complicated language. Its essence is far simpler and far more powerful: the ability to move from accurate assumptions to sound conclusions. A logical thinker builds their reasoning step by step, ensuring that each part is connected to the last in a coherent flow. If the starting point is flawed, then even the most refined reasoning will lead to the wrong destination. That's why the first rule is to examine your premises carefully, because every conclusion stands on them. Consider a simple example. If someone believes that every hardworking individual succeeds and then concludes that their own effort guarantees success, the logic may seem convincing, but it rests on a weak assumption. In reality, effort is only one piece of a much larger equation. When a premise is overly simplified, the conclusion it produces becomes unreliable. Core thinking principles demand that you question and understand the very base on which your reasoning stands. Another critical aspect of logical thinking is consistency. If your reasoning contradicts itself, it loses strength. Consistency means your beliefs and arguments must align without internal conflict. For example, if someone claims to value evidence but dismisses it when it challenges their views, their thinking becomes inconsistent. A logical thinker organizes their beliefs in a way that maintains harmony and coherence. Understanding cause and effect is another essential layer. Most events are driven by underlying causes, yet the human mind often mistakes correlation for causation. Just because two things happen together doesn't mean one caused the other. For instance, if someone feels energized after consuming a particular drink, they may assume the drink is responsible. But the real cause could be something entirely different, like proper rest, nutrition, or mood. A strong logical foundation requires the ability to distinguish between coincidence and causation. Clarity in definitions also plays a vital role. Many arguments become confusing simply because the terms involved are not clearly defined. If two people interpret the same word differently, meaningful conclusions become impossible. Logical thinkers take the time to define concepts precisely. They ensure that the meaning and scope of each term are clear, which strengthens the entire reasoning process. Another principle is the importance of step-by-step reasoning. Many people jump directly from one conclusion to another, skipping the logical steps in between. This creates gaps in understanding. A disciplined thinker works to bridge those gaps, carefully examining the chain of reasoning. They look at the evidence, identify assumptions, and evaluate the inferences being made. When each link in the chain is clear, the overall reasoning becomes far more dependable. Inference itself is a crucial element. It involves drawing conclusions from the information available. However, not all inferences carry the same weight. Some are strong, backed by solid evidence, while others are weak and based on speculation. A logical thinker learns to recognize this difference and avoids relying on weak inferences that lack support. A basic understanding of probability is also part of these principles. Not everything in life can be predicted with certainty. Logical thinkers operate with an awareness of likelihood rather than absolute certainty. They recognize that some conclusions are not definite, but probable. This perspective leads to more realistic decision-making and allows for better evaluation of risks. Intellectual honesty is another cornerstone. If reasoning is used only to defend pre-existing beliefs, then it loses its purpose. True logical thinking seeks truth, even when that truth challenges what you already believe. This level of honesty protects the mind from falling into biased thinking. At the same time, a logical thinker understands that the human mind is not flawless. It is shaped by biases and mental shortcuts. That's why these principles include an awareness of such limitations. This awareness encourages continuous self-reflection. It allows a person to question their own reasoning and refine it whenever necessary. One of the practical benefits of mastering these principles is clearer communication. When someone thinks logically, their arguments become structured and easy to follow. They rely less on emotion and vague statements, and more on evidence and reasoning. This leads to more meaningful and productive discussions. Over time, as these principles become internalized, thinking naturally becomes more disciplined. Instead of rushing to conclusions, a person begins to analyze each step carefully. They become more aware of assumptions and more deliberate in their reasoning. As a result, their decisions carry greater depth and thoughtfulness. Ultimately, core thinking principles serve as the backbone of logical thinking. They create a framework that shifts the mind away from random opinions and toward structured reasoning. When this foundation is solid, reasoning gains strength. And when reasoning is strong, decisions become more accurate and effective. Mastering logical thinking is not about learning a single technique, it is about building a system. A system where awareness, curiosity, clarity, and reasoning work together in harmony. At the center of it all lies core thinking principles. The stabilizing force that holds everything together. Once this foundation is truly understood, thinking doesn't just become sharper, it becomes deeper, more reliable, and far more powerful. That's it for today. If you're serious about this journey, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to save this video so you can come back anytime and feed your mind something valuable.